Video, I'll talk about some over-the-counter plays and what they are. So an over-the-counter, you'll notice they end in F, and some people will think that over-the-counter plays are unprofitable, and they aren't listed on our typical NASDAQ or NYSE because they've had something go wrong with them, which that isn't always the case. Sometimes they can be very profitable companies. You have Kraken doing well, and they're a Canadian company, so it can also be foreign companies don't want to go through all the snickle fritz to get listed, or they're very, very small and new and they're building, or it can be cases where they were delisted. But I am finding some profitable over-the-counters. And then you have this IQEPF. So Kraken would be they make defense batteries and things working with Anduril. I would say they're a good play. And actually, they're not all the over-the-counter because they are listed on public, but you can't buy. But you can buy this one on Robinhood. So some over-the-counters are, for whatever reason, end up on Robinhood. This, I'm using Schwab for the IQEPF, but if you see their growth for the year, and they do have an earnings coming up May 20th, and that'll be a big to-do because they've had this 7-month buyout period, but no news on a buyout. So I'm getting more and more hopeful on IQEPF. That's one of my very favorite growing over-the-counter ones. Compound semiconductor EPA wafer foundry. They don't make chips, they make the precision engineered starting materials, kind of like how AXTI makes the substrates. They're making these wafers, and the gallium arsenide, I think that is a good one. And these INP ones, that's one, well, actually, AXTI makes all these too, and AXTI is better off in the gallium because being a Chinese company, they have access to more gallium than other companies would even have. But I definitely think IQEPF is one. And then another one that I'm hearing a lot about from Serenity and other people that talk about these quantum tech hardware plays on X is ivpaf, a one layer downstream from IQE. They take the IMP EPA wafer sourced from IQE and others and fabricate them into the finished laser dies and laser arrays through their own fab in Kista, Sweden. So see, that's the reason why this one would be on. They're a Swedish company. The one that I've gotten into, but not that much because these ones have a $50 commission. So here's the other thing that prevents people from wanting to go into these over-the-counters. So looking at their chart, is this their year chart? That was their day. If we look their current year, Schwab gives you the stupidest charts, but they are doing well for what was their low? 73 cents. So this one, I do believe these guys have a nice opportunity with this photonic super cycle. So now if you were going in to go buy them, right? Notice here, now you have the price and it's at $1.44, but their price that they closed at was $1.41. So when you're buying over the counter stocks, you cannot do a market order. You have to do a limit order. And if you put it in higher, then it could end up buying it at a higher price. So you want to check. I mean, sometimes it doesn't always matter, but then let's say I was going to buy 100 shares of this. Now, when I go to review, it's Saturday today, but you'll go to review and ivpaf has a $50 commission, which is annoying, but I think I'm going to pay it. I'm going to see how everything looks next week, but ivpaf is one on my list to buy more of. And I do believe IQEPF. I'm hoping they have a downturn next week because last Friday they were all a bumping. And that's why I want to put my video out on them, IQEPF. So anyways, those are two tech hardware ones that I like. And then other ones that I'm very, very, very hopeful on is this one, eqrlf. And this one's going to be tungsten. And I think that they are horribly underpriced, and so do other people on X. And the other thing with over-the-counter stocks, nobody really talks about them. So if you're in an over-the-counter stock and you're always wondering why it looks like shit, it's because it's over-the-counter. But they're slow moving for sure, and volatile. Well, sometimes when they do move real high, they can then end up going down again. Like another one, I'll go into the tungsten one, ADHC. This is the one that has the GlucoGuard one. And as you can see, when they move, they move. That one's a stupid... they're just basically waiting on news. So they're not going to be doing very much. And then we'll see I don't know what ended up being this one that shot them. But they're waiting on this GlucoGuard device to be FDA approved. And they also have a partnership with Dexcom. So if you're looking for over-the-counter stocks, you want to make sure you have some that are making some money, because that is definitely important. And with the tungsten one, all right, so we have eqrlf, the two tungsten assets, operational in Queensland, Australia, and Spain. Also gold exploration in new whales. So the revenue, 66 million, up 141% from 27 million the year prior. People, this is eqrlf. I'm very excited about them. Getting at 24 cents. And people, I've been playing a lot of these fucking over-the-counter mines, okay? And to find one like this, it is. They do have a lot of debt, and they're expanding. But the price of tungsten now, and we have this thing with China. China's not selling tungsten for military use, and that's one of the main things we use it for. And if they say they're not going to use it for data centers, tungsten is melted down, as in every semiconductor. Every chip has a little teensiest bit of tungsten. I don't know, it like, because they get all hot, and then tungsten is like really good for that, and also cluster bombs. So I just think that one is a very promising one. None of this investment advice. But then bsnlf, pre-revenue, technically not, because they started producing in December, and they have one of the largest developed uranium projects. I want their helium project. This one isn't all the way right. We want to look at the helium project for bsnlf. That's wrong. But anyways, then you have ivpaf. Now, this one, they're mining in the Congo, okay? And they can it hurts them, this crisis with the diesel, but it also doesn't, because they can provide this other one, sulfur. So ivpaf, BAF, and they're not like a teensy one. But I'm confident on them. I have other videos where I'll break down what they do. This is just, I'm going over these. And as you can see, here's the other thing important about over-the-counter stocks. You want to get them when they are at their lowest of the low. And right now they're at their lowest of the low. They're finally producing. So this is when I think they could do a nice shoot. But not investment advice. But I'm hopeful on these ones. And the guy, the CEO would post on X a lot. These ones would be the ones that are just like risky. You can just see them sitting there. Like some people will go a lot into, because my mentor does this. That's probably why I'm so fucked on these. I'm just kidding. Well, not really, but we'll go in a lot in these mines and then just sit on them and wait. And then you never know what's going to happen with this one. But this one had promise, because they had this thing where they couldn't even talk about their stuff. I don't know. But now this tide is turning for them. So I'm not confident in them. I'm not. They have a long, long, long way to go. They're a Canadian miner. But the Tung F, that's another tungsten one. They're not in their revenue yet, but they're getting there. And the tungsten stuff, I think, is going to be a valuable mineral, people, going into our future. So when I have one that's a tungsten mine, I might look closer at it. I like it, but they're not producing yet, and they're on a high. So I would say, but not this investment advice, but I don't know, I would probably wait. We'll see where this one goes. But being a tungsten, Tung F could be an interesting one as well. And then MILF drill stage. Drill stage is nothing. That's when they're just looking for stuff. And then they'll shoot when they have news, and then they go back down for the longest time. So keep in mind, that's what happens with these little miners. But I do like what they have. So I held a little bit of them. And if I saw it on a real, real low, I'll maybe look to get more. But as you can see, they have their shoots, and then their plummets, and then blah, blah, blah. Anyways, MILF is one. What does MILF have that... Oh, antimony. I do like antimony. That is nice. Because you also have UAMI. Because you can look at other miners that are going and see what the potential would be, but they take forever. This was supposed to be SAGMF. This one, demo plant just operational, near revenue, REMF. That's another one I like. The 100% interest in Barrel Lodge RE, Rare Earth Project in Central Cook County. What makes it different? They're not just Explorer. They have a demonstration plant in Wyoming, now operational. Initial operations commenced at the Rare Earth Processing Demonstration Plant. Wood PLC contracted staffing. I like all that. So that would be one when they start to get into their stuff. Ooh, and they're actually still, this is not even that much on a high. So REMF is another one I'm hopeful on. Because then UURAF, this was another one. People like them a lot on X. And they probably would have been the better bet. But they're a $50 commission because they're the Australian one. And they maintain pretty well. Like I said, everything was up. They were over $5 and they were $8.30 then. So see, just because you're an over-the-counter doesn't mean you can't ride the mining trends and things, because they definitely did. These ones actually might also be on Robinhood. I'm not sure, but I have this processors, so separation and refining. They're building a processing infrastructure, not waiting for mine production. That URF could have a nice little play there. And then there was one I wanted to still do. This one, bsnlf, and they are like the teeniest micro, and they had a halt recently where I don't know what it happened. That will happen occasionally. They'll just be halted, but not for just bsnlf, but you could see that with other ones. But the secret of, okay, this is about the geopolitical disaster, because they just started their helium production. So helium cannot be rapidly sourced from alternative producers. The specialized infrastructure required for helium separation, purification, and liquefaction takes years to build. U.S. Bureau of Land Management helium reserve completed its privatization in 2026, removing a critical buffer from the system. Spot helium prices surge as much as 40%. This is gonna go with more people, because this Qatar Energy is a third of the world's helium, and the semiconductor needs this. MRIs do too, but I don't think they really care about that. They'll probably make less MRIs just so they can have them for the semiconductors and the space defense, dude. So is a Colorado-based U.S. helium provider, which makes one of the few companies that can supply a domestic market right now without any exposure from Hormuz disruption. Critically, they just started producing. Blue Helium achieved first helium production at its Galactica project in Colorado following the rapid construction, installation, commissioning of the Pine Canyon processing plant. Initial production from a suite of development wells confirmed commercial-scale helium and associated CO2 volumes. This is what I think could be very interesting, people. So when you're looking at these over-the-counters, if you really want hope with them, you got to have something that's making revenue. Those are really the way to go. I think, I don't know, we'll see. I haven't really had one that went crazy shooting that was an over-the-counter. But I think these miners, no, because IQEPF is still, I got it in 10 cents, but it's only 50 cents. That's not I want to see something go crazy. Go from true teensy penny stock to like $5. Then I would be happy. And I've done it with odds in them, but wait, this is another one I think. I want one that's a true over-the-counter. I haven't had an over-the-counter win. Definitely had penny stock win, but I have not had a true over-the-counter win. IQEPF now. People get mad at me because they do have their ups, but these over-the-counters, I think, well, I don't know. Some of them are long-term, okay? I definitely plan on holding IQEPF for long-term because flagship project is Aria. I've talked about her before. Robotics. And they're on all different things. So if this is Aria, all right? And wait, robots positioned for commercial deployment, customer-facing roles, hotel, hospitality graders, retail assistant, healthcare companions. This is starting to be on the news a lot. And you could have them healthcare companions for special needs students, like para-aides, all sorts of things. Emphasize patented eye contact, eye tracking, AI vision, up to 10 hours battery life, fully customizable appearance, voice and personality, what they call AI agnostic architecture, meaning she can be integrated with multiple underlying AI models. See, she's already. So, also, notable milestone, one of us was featured in the Ericsson Live Standard 6G over-the-air trial at Ericsson's U.S. headquarters in Plano, Texas. They do a lot of publicity. So, robotics, $2 million revenue, up to 121%, improved gross margin, operating expenses, $6.9 million, $1.4 million non-cash. Then they're also doing this thing where that was when they did their balance sheet. They had these some assets that they sold, crypto assets of sorts, which I think is smart because I'm not the biggest fan of crypto. And now they're NASDAQ listing. So I won't be talking about IQEPF as an over-the-counter much longer because it removes specifically entered an agreement with Oncontics, ONCO, pursuant in which ONCO will acquire 100% of robotics, the wholly owned subsidiary holding the robots engineering AI software, in an all-stock transaction. Oncontics is a NASDAQ-listed company that was originally in the oncology prostate. Basically, it just has been a failure. Then robotics would own between 75 to 90% of the resulting combined entity, preserving shareholder upscale to the commercial robotics business. No action required by robotics shareholders. There are no issues by robotics nor share. It's just going to switch. and this closing expected end of Q3. So I'm hoping Real Robotics gets more exposure because people will be able to go on and buy easier without a $6.95 commission. But then they'll be there for more. There's going to be rules to it. Like, see, actually, they're going to have to split because, see, they've been able to be in this tiny penny range, in the 25-cent range. But now, if they're going to be on the NASDAQ, then they'll be getting these reverse splits and whatnot. See, because another thing with companies, they have to stay above $1 or a certain amount to be on these listings. So that is something. But anyways, eqrlf, I'm confident, and the CEO, a very respectable, comes from finance, and I think that the Korean robotics partners, he partners with Korean robotics companies, which is very wise because they obviously have the best robots. But those will be over-the-counter stocks that I am hopeful on.